What's up, guys? Back with another video for you guys, and today we're going to talk about rider safety. I'm actually going to do a little series on this because there's just so many topics that I want to cover, but I don't want to cram all of it into one video and make it super long, and I don't want to just give you, okay, this, and not, tell you how you can actually do those things. So today, rider safety, we're going to talk about intersections. So one of the most dangerous things to you on a motorcycle are going to be intersections. When you come out to intersections, that's an intersection. Anytime you have a road that comes on, or a driveway even, every driveway is an intersection. Any spot from which a pedestrian or a vehicle might come onto your lane is an intersection. So when you come out to intersections and you want to be safe, be ready to brake. And one thing that I will do a lot, especially if I'm riding, around cities and town, is I usually have at least one finger just kind of resting on my clutch lever, and I'm always ready to press the brakes. It's good to have it hovering. Now I know it's a little bit interesting if you have your you're giving it throttle, but that's kind of how you want to go about that. Oh man, I really got to get some gas. So intersections are going to be one of the most dangerous things to you as a rider, because people oftentimes won't see you when they come out of an intersection and they're turning on to your road or going straight or whatever it may be. They might not see you because they're not looking for you. They're looking for a big vehicle on four wheels, it's wide, it's got two headlights far apart. They're not looking for something, slim, one wheel behind the other one and one headlight at the front. And so people they won't see you. They're not out there, they're not trying to hurt you or anything, but their brain ignores it. So you want to be very cautious, especially on blind intersections. Like for example, cars may come up here and they may come up a little bit further because there's some plants there, and so they might creep out a little bit. So you have to be careful of that when you can't see, is there someone, until you get really close. Or an intersection like here, I mean, you have traffic lights, but people don't always obey them. And again, even if I had a green light, the people coming from over there, they can still turn right. And so you want to be cautious not to just book it through there, because people might just not see you in time, or they might creep out so far that they're blocking your lane. Another thing that's very important is when you do see someone pop out in front of you, even if they're just creeping up, but it surprises you, all of a sudden you see someone just pop out of a corner, they might not even intend to go in front of you, they couldn't see, and so now they poked out to see. It's important that you don't just grab a handful and put the bike down because you panicked and you braked much harder than you should have, and then you were able to on your bike without putting it down. So yes, be ready to brake, but make sure that you are not braking too hard, because you will put your bike down. right, people, so the next thing is, when you do come up to intersections, as well as, like I said before, you know, hover your clutch, hover your brakes, things like that. And I understand you're probably not going to do it. I mean, I don't do it all the time either, you know. I don't drive around town. Alright guys, so next point that we're going to get to here. When you do come up to intersections, don't accelerate to get through them. If you see people pulling up, don't accelerate. I mean, you don't want to, you know, necessarily slow down and make them and confuse them and make them think that you might be like waiting for them or something. You don't want to do that either. But you don't want to be speeding up to say, no, you know, I'm here first, you know. Don't do that. It doesn't help. It doesn't help you at all. It's probably just going to get you hurt. Another thing is, when you come up to traffic lights intersections, don't try to make it through the orange through the yellow lights. Don't try to make it through them. If you, I mean, obviously, you know, treat it the same way as you would in a car. You know, if you're coming up to it and you're right up to it, and you would have to really bite down on your brakes to make it through, you can probably make it through safely. But don't go, oh, I can probably make it through if I speed up. Don't do that. The chances are, the second you hit the line, your light is turning red. And how often have you seen someone start rolling into the intersection because they are watching and they already know they're about to get a green light, and so they start rolling in, and by the time they get to the middle of the intersection is when their light actually turns green. So you could end up in an accident really quick just because someone is turning either instantly or even a second before their light turns green. And this isn't about who's wrong or who's right. This is about just staying safe. There's a huge difference between who's right and who's wrong, and what is safe and what isn't safe. Oh, it's about time they fixed that. Now I have a few more points that I want to bring up. If someone cuts you off, don't honk at them. You don't want to honk at someone that is, you know, in front of you, because there's a good chance that the second they hear that horn, they're gonna slam on their brakes, and then now you have a stationary object in front of yourself. So honking at people, yeah, there are situations where you can definitely use it and it will help you, but it does not help if someone has just cut you off. Or same with rev bombing, you know. And I know I rev bomb people if they are about to get in my way or things like that, and I have nowhere to go. You know, there's times where, yeah, that can help, but I think most of the time when we do it, it's because we are frustrated or angry, and that doesn't help anyone, because as soon as you do that, now they are upset, and you don't want to have that. You don't want to have that, you know, fight, imaginary fight, or whatever you want to call it. You don't want to have that going on in traffic. Ooh, there's a rock there. Yes, people, do be careful when you turn. There was a little rock just in the middle of the road. If I had hit that with my front tire, there's a good chance I would have gone down. And that brings me to my last point I have on this topic, which is that if you are in a parking lot, that parking lot is full of intersections. The parking lot, treat it as if it's a giant intersection, because you don't ever know where someone is going to pop out from because they're not being careful, or even if they are in the designated areas where they should be driving. You know, the entire parking lot is full of intersections, a lot of them being blind intersections. So it is very, very important to be especially careful in parking lots, and don't go fast in parking lots. It doesn't help. You might save yourself a few seconds, or you might get delayed for an hour or two, or who knows. So just drive slow in parking lots. Be ready to stop for people that are popping out. Be ready to use evasive maneuvers if people have already cut you off and you have to find a safe route around. But yeah, guys, so that's all I'm gonna have for you guys today. So stay tuned, and until next time.